morning, everyone. What is it? February 15th. We're out on the property. We had a rain last night, which is the first rain we've had since we came to Thailand. Actually, we've been here over a month, but had a pretty good rain in the evening, and so I wanted to come out here and kind of see what the property looked like after a rain and what the road looked like, so I can prepare myself mentally for having a disaster on this road. But it looks pretty good. There's a couple spots that it's a little bit where it got washed out in the spring, where they patched it up. That's a little slick, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape. I was worried the pond would get really cloudy from the runoff, the sides, but it looks like it always has, nice and green. Looks like my morning glory broke loose from the ground over there though, but it should take hold again. It's still alive, as you can see. So we're taking off in about, let's say 15th, in about 5 days. We're scheduled to head back to Bangkok. We still have not got our plans back from the builder. Whatever he's got, if he ain't got it by Friday, I'm taking what he's got and leaving, or I'll just leave it with him and say to hell with him, because he told us 15 days. It's now going on 22 days, and he still hasn't got us the prints. We have talked to a couple builders. I went and looked at one of the builder's personal house that he's building and one of his customers' house that he completed about 3 years ago, and talked to them. And it's the guy that's doing Eddie's house now, not the one that run off on him, but the builder that's over there now. He's a local guy, so he gave me a ballpark estimate of 2.5. I had a guy that works for city planning. He builds houses also. He came and looked at it yesterday, told us 4, but he wanted 1.9 for the house and 2 just for the roof area outside. But I don't know, he wants to drive pilings and everything else, but don't plan on going with that, that's for sure. But I do want to pull all my stakes and my string out before we leave, because the cattle are just going to destroy it anyhow. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm on my way into the village, right behind me here. On my way into the village to grab Sompit, because we're going to go back over to the builders. He's doing his house. He used for his floor in his main living area, he used a technique which I've seen in the US, and I'm sure they use it around the world. But basically you lay your concrete while it's still wet, you throw some aggregate on there, and you come back with, I'll call it a polisher, but it's more like a hone or a grinder that runs around on the floor and just polishes it smooth, or grinds it smooth, I should say. And then you run some stress, pre-saw some stress cracks through it, and then fill those with an epoxy stuff. So it's got some expansion joints. But anyhow, I'm thinking about doing some of that if I go with this builder. So I want her to take a look at that and see what she thinks of it. 2 days ago, we did go up to Sisaket. Spent all day. It was supposed to be an easy deal. Go up there, go to the driver's license department, show them my passport and my international driver's license, US driver's license. As long as they're valid, I was supposed to just like flip it over and get a driver's license. That's what I was told. Ended up taking all day long. We had to go to immigration, get a piece of paper from them. Had to go to a clinic, get a piece of paper from them. Back to immigration, back to the driver's license. So it ended up taking all day. It was a pain in the ass, but I did get the Thailand driver's license. It's good for 2 years. So pretty happy about that. The only thing that I haven't accomplished on my list of things to do this year is get that bank account open. And I can't do that without some kind of a form from the US Embassy. And if you recall, I was trying to make that appointment when we come over here, before we came over, but wasn't able to do it because of the way they schedule things. So we may attempt that yet on our way out, but I don't know, we're just gonna have to play it by ear. And right now I got to get going because we got to be over there in about 20 minutes. I got to get in here, get her picked up, and get into town and meet Eddie's builder. Okay, so we made it into the village. Sompit's in taking a shower. I'm sitting here in front of Mom's house. A lot of ambient noise because this is like the main street, and this guy across the road traps wild birds and keeps keeps them in cages all over the neighborhood. You look under that house right over there, you can see bird cages hanging everywhere. Right here, and down the side of the house here. So it's always noisy here because there's a lot of traffic. There's a grocery store, convenience store, whatever you call it, right across the road, which is nice and handy for us, but it's just a constant flow of people all day long, which is kind of nice when you're sitting here, nothing else to do. Just kind of see everybody go by in the village, you start seeing the same faces, they start seeing mine, they get used to talking to me, or seeing me sitting there anyhow. But I think the plan is when we come here to build, we are going to live here at Mom's house. By Western standards, it's a very primitive house, but it's pretty standard here. There's a hand-dug well back here. Somebody cut up a hand-dug well back here that has a lift pump in it. I haven't looked in the well, I don't know how deep it is, but that supplies this house with water and the neighbor's house. But there's really no plumbing. There's a water line runs into the bathroom. There are no flush toilets. You just scoop a bucket and dump it down the toilet. There's no air conditioning, no heat. There's some electric run around for some lights. But like out here, the only light that's here is right there. And at random times throughout the day, they got these loudspeakers they go on and they start playing music and talking and you can't hear a damn thing. But these speakers are right up there, so it's very freaking loud here. So with that, I'm going to cut this off because you can't hear me anyhow, and we'll talk a little bit. Okay, so the morning reveille has ended. I don't know what's going on this morning. They just played one song and that was it. Normally he gets on there and starts reading the news and talking about village life stuff, and he's on there for 20-30 minutes every morning talking. Then he does it again in the evening, and then he plays a bunch of music in the evening, so it's very, very noisy here. And these birds drive me crazy. But what do you do, right? It's part of village life. I was talking earlier about this is the main road through town, lots of traffic. The school is right down here about, I don't know, half a kilometer. So all the school kids walk by here, and it's pretty funny because when I first started sitting out here, they see the white guy out here and they're all like, it's pretty funny. Now they're all used to seeing me every day, so not a big deal. But yeah, village life is pretty simple. One thing I like about it is it's very, very, it appears to be very, very safe and secure. You'll see small kids like this wandering around by themselves at night all over the village. Their parents will send them up here to the store to whatever, get some vegetables or something to drink or something. And it's very commonplace, so it's a very, very safe place to be, which is good. It's very, very simple life. Sompit was worried about me adjusting to it. I'm not so much worried. I think most people become a product of their environment, and once I or anyone else is here for a while and kind of get a little bit established, it's just going to be normal life. Now, obviously, we won't be here in the village once we get a house built, but we'll probably be here for close to a year before we get the house done. So I'll do a lot of videos from this chair right here.
นะครับก็ขอกราบสวัสดีนะครับพ่อแม่พี่น้องชาวบ้านเจเนียที่เคารพทุกท่านนะครับ
Here he comes
แล้ว
with
ก็
the
สำหรับ
news.
การ
So
เปิดของข้อเท็จจริงใน
this recording
ช่วง
is
เช้าวัน
done
นี้
because you're
นะ
not
ครับ
going to
ก็
hear me for the next
ตรง
half
กับวัน
hour.
พุธที่ 15
Okay, he's shut up for a minute. But the other thing that you'll see here that is not usual in the West is all the little kids riding the motorbikes. I mean little 7, 8-year-old kids with their 3 or 4, 5-year-old brother or sister on the back, or 2 or 3 brothers and sisters on the motorbikes. But there is an age limit, and you're supposed to have a license, but obviously it's not enforced. Here you go, right here. 3 10, 11-year-olds on that motorbike headed to school. But most of them have been on their bike their whole life because that's what everybody uses for transportation. So it's not a big deal here, it's just commonplace. And when you first see it, you're a little shocked by it, especially when you're driving and you're afraid one's going to run into you and kill you. But most of them are pretty safe. I haven't really seen anybody in the village, driving pretty erratically. Once in a while they'll get going a little fast going by here, but other than that, pretty laid back. They do have streetlights out here, as you've probably seen in some of my other videos, but it gets really, really quiet after about, it gets dark about 6:15 to 6:45, depending on what time of year it is, and then after about 7:15, 7:30, it's really quiet out here. But yeah, when the time comes, this will probably be our home for about a year until we get our house built. It's not going to be an easy life, but I'm okay. Mom's house here. Eddie's about a half a kilometer that way out of town, and I'm about, he's probably closer to a kilometer that way, and I'm about a kilometer that way. As I was saying in the video, when I was at Eddie's place the other day, it's about a kilometer across the field to our place, but we got to drive basically a kilometer into town, cut through the backside of town, and then a kilometer out. And here's another example of little kids running around.
ขออภัยนะครับสำหรับเสียงที่ประชาสัมพันธ์แล้วขาดหายไปเป็นช่วงระยะนะครับก็สำหรับในช่วงเช้าวันนี้นะครับก็มีข้อมูลข่าวสารที่จะได้แจ้งและประชาสัมพันธ์ให้พี่น้องได้ทราบนะครับเรื่องแรกนะก็จะเป็นในส่วนงานของสำนักงานเทศบาลตำบลกระหวันนะครับก็แจ้งเรื่องขอเชิญประชุมหารือการบริหารจัดการน้ำในเขตพื้นที่ตำบลกระหวันนะครับก็โดยเทศบาลตำบลกระหวันนะครับมีความประสงค์ขอเชิญกำนันหรือว่าผู้ใหญ่บ้านและตัวแทนชุมชนร่วมประชุมปรึกษาหารือแผนการบริหารจัดการ
You can't hear me anyhow, so I'm going to get off here. Sompit's ready. We're going to go look at this house that this builder's building for himself. So we'll catch up with you in a little while. Check out this bike.
ดังนั้นเพื่อเป็นการบริหารจัดการทรัพยากร
So we went and met with the builder, looked at his house. We saw some things that we liked that we told him to include in pricing. When he gives us an estimate, we are at Sompit's mom's house right now. It's midday. We're going to go out to the property and turn over that dirt, that compost we put out the other day. But I'll give you a ride through the village from Sompit's mom's house out to the property. So let's go for a drive. Can you hold the camera for me?
Okay, 'They not give down payment. They not say nothing. it either. I think this lady that talked to you, she house right here. The one that say you have the house, come back and come look, come baby. I think that lady.
Oh, really? I didn't recognize her, but I didn't really look at her either.
Yeah. So in front of the house, when the vehicle, it must be very dusty.
Yeah, that's we should put some rock like that down because that will knock the dust down. It's being dirt like this. But if we don't do the whole thing, just do it from like halfway to the corner there, up and then out past that little building. So that at least when they drive by our house, it's not real dusty.
I've been thinking, I just keep thinking, why I don't put dirt on the end to avoid the dusting.
What I'm saying is put gravel, rock, like that, from about here around the corner and past our house, so at least we don't get a lot of dust right here. All right, so that's our drive from Mom's house to the property. Sompit's going to grab her little shovel. She's going to turn over some of this mulch that we put out the other day. I'm going to go ahead and pull these stakes and sticks. I'm going to do a couple measurements real quick first. Get these pulled out. And just kind of finish up our plan here on the property. She just said that we're 22 days into this engineer, and now today he wants pictures of the property to see where the house is going to set on the property. I don't know. I'm not very happy with this guy.